Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. It's the word on the street from the LFC Day Trippers, and it's an Alisson Becker special. This transfer has moved very, very fast in the last 24, 48 hours, 24 hours in particular. I'm your host, Gav, and joining me this evening, they're the all are on screen. We have Grizz, we have Molly, and we have Ian. Nicky Ultron says even Nicky. This one could go anywhere. Let's be honest. Alisson Becker, world record fee, somewhere anywhere between 66 and 68 million, depending where you read it. Monstrous fee for a goalkeeper. Let's be perfectly honest. Ian, you're my favourite. You know you're my favourite, so I'm going to let you start. That's a mad amount of money for a goalkeeper, but I've heard from a lot of people in the last 24 to 48 hours that when you need to fix something, you fix it properly, and it does away with a problem, hopefully, for years to come. Is this one you're behind? Is this one you're all on board with? Are you on Matt's bus?
I'll never be on Matt's bus, but I am definitely behind this, mate. Listen, we've tried to fix it with stopgaps in the past. Karius was 4 million. What was Mignolet? 12, possibly. They're just not getting it done. And all right, that is a mental amount of money for a keeper, a mental amount. But it was kind of dictated to us by the time frame we've got in order to get it in place. Do you know what I mean? If Chelsea were to move Courtois on, then we're in a bit more with them. So we have to move quick. Listen, Roma were never going to give us them cheap because of how we got Salah. Do you know what I mean? But go big or go home, I say, like. Listen, if he's 25, if he's our keeper for the next 10 years, transfers are only going one way. So that's set the benchmark now. If De Gea moves next season, he'll move for 100 million. And you know what I mean? And that's just the way it's going to go. Hopefully, he's a massive success, do you know what I mean? But I think we're all agreed that Karius wasn't the answer. So let's do it. One thing I will say, mate, is there's no coming back from this for Klopp. You spend £67 million on a keeper, you better get it right. You better get it right.
Yeah, you better get it right. And look, I've been saying, I'm being open and honest about this. I've seen him play 7 times, twice against us and 5 times in the World Cup. And I'm not saying he's blown my mind. But having said that, watching him play for Roma and some of the montages I've seen, some of the saves from are fucking ridiculous, to be perfectly honest with you. He likes to play high up the pitch. He's very good with his feet. I don't think he commands his box. But then again, I don't see Klopp looking at that as a major issue when I look at Mignolet and Karius. He looks more for his defenders to do the defending. Grizz, I'll come to you next. Again, reading reports and reading things that have been said over the last couple of days, this seems to be one that's been in the pipeline for probably 7 to 8 months now. Would you agree that we looked at him, stalled on it, the money was mammoth, and then we went away and looked at alternatives and they didn't look like they were going to happen, and they decided our only way out is this, or the cleanest way out of this is Alisson Becker, and it gives us the most chance of being successful despite that massive amount of money?
Yeah, I think you're pretty spot on. I think the needs changed and adjusted as the season wore on, and the exploits of our keepers. Do you know what I mean? So, as you said, we started scouting him, or maybe not scouting, but interested in him since last December. So, and that's when to be totally brutally honest with you, that's the first time I sort of took notice of him. I watch Italian football, but then you know what it's like until you're linked with someone. You sort of focusing them on more. I'm over the moon with this deal, mate. I'm absolutely over the moon. I mean, we're signing a 6'4" strapping lad with the most amazing beard called Alisson. What could possibly go wrong?
Yeah.
This guy. This is the stuff of dreams, mate. For me personally, I know, and we've discussed this last Sunday, didn't we, on the Fatback 4 in terms of, is he worth the money and all that. And as Ian says, look, we've been buying keepers from struggling teams in the recent past. Karius came from Molly. You could probably help me out. Where did Karius come from? Mainz. Right. So lower league, Bundesliga. Mignolet we know came from Sunderland, struggling team. Can't remember the keepers before that. But this is first time in a long time we're buying a keeper who's the Brazil #1. Let's not forget. And he's coming from a successful Roma team who reached the Champions League, etc., and done very well in Serie A. So this is the first time we're going balls out on a keeper who's been successful in its recent history and has got a winning mentality in terms of you don't get to be the Brazil national. I mean, I know a lot of people take the mick out of Brazilian goalkeepers, but as we know, Ederson's a fine keeper who's just won the league, and this guy's keeping him out of the team. For me, the money, as I said before, is totally irrelevant. It's not coming out of my bank account. I just want the best. No, we know the best keepers are black. We've discussed that, and like we would have everyone's first choice, I think, would have been Oblak. But Oblak was unrealistic in my opinion. I think out of the best, he's the best out of the rest, and I think the fee is totally irrelevant. We wanted better than what we've got, and we've definitely got better than what we've got, and that's the main.
Do you know something, Grizz? You were saying Oblak is the best goalkeeper that we could have got, or maybe could have went for. I'll agree with you.
Best goalkeeper in the world.
No, I'll agree with you that goalkeeper-wise, I think he is. And I've been banging the Oblak drum for I don't know how long, because my opinion is 66 million up to 86 or 89 million. If you wanted to go that extra, if you want to go that extra and go for him, I would have been all for that. Having said that,
Becker suits Liverpool more than Oblak,
Yeah, and you know what? I'm gonna actually admit I was wrong, and I think I may have been wrong on this because ability-wise, I think Oblak is phenomenal. But I think to suit Liverpool, I think we may have just done the right thing. Now, having said that, I still have reservations over him in certain areas, but the right fit may be this one. Molly, Grizz has talked there about who we could get, who we couldn't get. For you, when it comes to this, and I've seen this mentioned again earlier online about Liverpool have decided against this mantra of looking for value in the market. When we look for value in the market, we are very hit and miss. We've gone away from that idea, I think, especially with the likes of Salah. Mane didn't look like value in the market at the time people gave out about it. And now you look at Van Dijk, that's not value in the market, it's 75 million. May end up being value, and now you look at this. Have we moved on to a different level here? Have we moved to a different mantra where we're not looking for value and we're not looking for this money ball where we can? Because let's be honest, if this guy has a good career at Liverpool, he's not going for any more. You'd be doing well to get 70 million back for him. If he's just anyway good. Do you think we've moved away from this now? And instead of plugging gaps, we're just filling them. We're filling them properly, and we're filling them for years to come.
Not necessarily, Gav. To be honest, even though I know 65 million for a goalkeeper is obviously it's a lot of money. It's crazy money, but so he's 25 years of age. If he's with us for the next 10 years, that's basically 6.5 million a season. So that is just like signing, your likes of your Karius every single season. So instead of that, we have sorted out a position for the next 10 years. So to me, if you have a position sorted for the next 10 years and it's only costing you 6.5 million a season, that's value for money. I would agree that we're not necessarily looking for the sell-on fee any longer. Like tying Salah down to the new contract, certainly pointed that out because we didn't have to do that this summer. We could have let him off and he would have been a bit upset and wait for the Real Madrid offer to come in of 150 million and said it, we wanted to go down that road. I don't think we want to go down that road any longer. We are looking to keep the players, but have maybe a book value on them. So when the profit and loss sheets comes out every year from FSG, it looks much better when you have a player like Salah worth 200 million on your books than it would have been sold and you brought in a guy like Bryant for 50 million and hope that he does well. So I don't think we're gone from looking for money for value players, but I do think what we are gone from is when these guys' value does go up, is to sell them. I think now we're looking to make superstars out of him, but keep him and start coming to giant for the club once again.
Absolutely. Ian, I want to go on to his ability and his, I suppose, the pros and cons of him, because nobody's a perfect player, nobody, and especially a goalkeeper. It's so hard to be the perfect goalkeeper, you know. Like, David De Gea has been the outlier for 3 to 4 years now, where he's been outrageous. Which you see in the World Cup, everyone makes mistakes, and people, especially when a keeper makes a mistake, people jump on it and they like it goes on and on. You know, when he makes that mistake in the World Cup, Karius is the first name out of people's mouth. But looking at this, Ian, let's go back and look at where he's come from. He starts his career at International, and he's there. He comes into Rome in 2016. I think Szczesny keeps him out of the team for the year, but he gets in at the start of the season just gone, and he's, you know, I've seen stats on him today. No mistakes leading to goals. A high percentage shot stopping ratio. He's, you know, his distribution. This is a phenomenal rise in a goalkeeper, to be 25 and have this rise over the past, let's be honest, a calendar year. That's basically what it is. It's that rise over a calendar year.
See, I don't necessarily agree with that. A bit of the criticism knocking about is he's only had one good season and we bought him. But he won 4 league titles in his 4 seasons in Brazil. I mean, he signed for Roma.
Reset.
He signed for Roma as the backup to Szczesny, and the season he was backup, Szczesny got goalkeeper of the season. He got the most clean sheets and got a move to Juventus the same year. So it's not like he's just some crab who we've signed from the Red Lion after he kept a couple of clean sheets. Do you know what I mean? He's got proper pedigree. Like, he played for Brazil before he played for Roma. So, do you know what I mean? All right, he's only been come to the public eye in the last year, because not many people watch Brazilian football and stuff. But people have been aware of him. Do you know what I mean? He signed for Roma for £7.5 million, which is quite a lot of money for a keeper from Brazil. Do you know what I mean? They don't sell keepers very. Let's be honest, most of the keepers in Brazil are dog shit, aren't they? But his strengths, mate, his reflexes are frightening. But that's also possibly his biggest weakness as well, because his reflexes are so frightening. Maybe his positional work could do it a bit. You know what I mean? He could improve on his positioning a bit, but coming for crosses is going to be a bit alien to him in our league, because it's a different type of football than he'll played. He will flap every now and again. He's a proper sweeper keeper. He loves a Cruyff turn, loves it. The fans are going to shit themselves because he'll do it, and eventually a smart player will catch him out. You know what I mean? But it's important that we see what he gives us as opposed to what he doesn't give us. You know what I mean? He might make the odd mistake. Karius makes the odd mistake. But Karius didn't give us anything going either way. Alisson, his distribution is tremendous, and with our front three, if we're under attack, we're under pressure, and he can pick the ball up, and it's a 70-yard pass into either of the wings for Mane or Salah or whatever. He's going to be worth a bit like Reina was in his prime. Reina got assists. Do you know what I mean? I think Alisson will be capable of getting assists. Will make mistakes. Because you just said about De Gea, you don't make. It's impossible to not make mistakes. Do you know what I mean? It's going to happen. So we just need to get behind him. Honestly, I'm just made up that we're not going into another season with a keeper who's got jelly for wrists, and he just isn't good enough. He's just not good enough, Karius. And if we'd have kept him round about September, when he's made a couple of howlers, we'd have been, why the fuck didn't we go out and spend all that money on Alisson? So I'd rather we went for it. Be proactive, do you know what I mean? Rather than just sit there and wait to see what happens.
Yeah, you like I've mentioned De Gea and you've mentioned De Gea, and I remember when De Gea signed for United, and it was alien to him because he was being asked to come and collect crosses, catch crosses, and in that Ferguson side, Ferguson always wanted a dominating keeper in his box. He didn't like his defence dropping too deep. He liked a dominating keeper that would come out, command his box. Van der Sar done it to an extent. Schmeichel was brilliant at it going through the years. But when I always remember De Gea, and I'll tell you what, one thing I always remember, they were away at Spurs. I think they were 2-0 up. There was a couple of minutes to go. It went to 2-1, and the media were all over this shop, all over him. And I think it was Ferdinand and Vidic were playing centre half of United at White Hart Lane. 5 minutes to go, and they literally dropped onto their 6-yard line for the last 5 minutes. A ball comes over, De Gea is beaten in the air by somebody, it goes in, I think it's a 2-2 draw, and De Gea gets absolutely slaughtered. And I'm looking going, well, hold on, these are two experienced defenders. Weren't he out and giving them space to catch it or dealing with themselves? De Gea had a very rough ride. I think people have to, when this fella signs, it needs to be realised that, yeah, he will make mistakes. Yeah, he will flap at them, like you said. Yeah, there may be a shot that you think he should have probably got to it and it just went in. That will happen. But he's a lad that's played in Brazil and now played in Italy, and he's coming to England. Three different games, in my opinion. But like you said, he needs to be given time, and we can't let this. What I'm trying to say is we can't let this fee dominate every single facet of his game.
I mean, it will to a point because people will look at it, but if he does his job, how many people talk about Van Dijk's fee now?
Yeah,
no one mentions
correct. Yeah,
he's done his job. He's done his job. But what I will say, to spend £67 million, whatever it turns out to be, on Alisson now, to me suggests that FSG would have bought Oblak if Klopp really wanted him. I think if he'd have turned around and said, "That's who I want, that's my keeper," I think they would have just spunked up the rest of the cast. It's not that big a difference. Do you know what I mean? If they sell Danny Ings for 20 million, there's your difference. I just think Oblak is a better out-and-out goalkeeper. He's incredible. But his distribution is nowhere near the standard of Alisson's. And I think that's why Klopp's picked. So Klopp has picked the best available keeper in his image, you know what I mean? And they backed him. He can't big them up enough for that. It's a huge fee, man. It's more than double the second highest fee ever for a keeper.
Yeah, 33 million, I think, was the original.
Or Buffon or Pickford or whoever.
Yeah.
Big man, big goal.
Or Ederson, I see.
Grizz, yeah, 35 or something, yeah.
Grizz, Ian's touched on his career and the rise. When you look at him, because you were saying, you told us earlier, you've been watching this guy since December. And look, I'm going to be honest with you, Grizz. There's people on Periscope there saying, "Well done, Grizz, you called it. You called it a couple months ago. You actually went through it in January, and credit to you. Yeah, you did. And as much as I give you loads, you know that in private, me and you clash all day long. But I will give you that. You've been talking about this guy probably since December, January, anyway. But when you've watched a bit of him, and Molly, I'd say, has watched a bit of him as well, because I know Molly watches a hell of a lot of football as well. I'll put the same question to both of you. I'll let Grizz go first, and Molly, you can follow. Grizz, pros and cons. If you were to give me two major pros, and maybe, I don't know, is there one or two cons or negatives to his game that we feel we can get better out of him, what would they be?
The major pro, in my opinion, is the sheer size of the fella. A goalkeeper for me has to be intimidating.
If I was 6'4", do you reckon I'd get 7 million from me?
You'd fucking be intimidating, man. I tell you what.
Right.
You're intimidating. Hey, Ian, he's intimidating at 4'4". Imagine fucking at 4'4". Do you know what I mean? But listen, this guy is a unit. And as Ian says, he's not only... And normally when you get big fuck-off keepers, right, their reactions are not in proportion to their size. This guy's reactions are insane. He's totally suits our system, as Ian says, because I think we found out to our benefit, Roma play a high line, and so he's asked to sweep a lot. So as we found out in the Champions League, it didn't work against us, but the lad is asked to sweep up. His look, because as I said, the pros are his sheer size, he's intimidating, he's very, very quick off his line, and he's very decisive. And we've discussed before the main art of a goalkeeper. One of the main arts of the goalkeeper is his decisiveness. It has to be decisive, and he's very decisive in what he does. He's a very positive goalkeeper as well. Ian's touched upon his distribution. It really is second to none. But his distribution and the level of his skill with his feet can also be construed as one of his weaknesses, because he's that good. He does do those drag backs and flicks, the Johan Cruyff turns, a tad too much. But I've got total confidence in Klopp and Co, and yes, in John Achterberg, to sort of rectify those small deficiencies that he may have. Yes, his positional sense in terms of his positioning in terms of coming for set pieces and corners maybe a slightly suspect, but the sheer size of him, you see, with Mignolet, with Mignolet you could see he was a bag of nerves as soon as you just see him. He was a bag of nerves, right? With Karius, he was the total opposite. He was too calm. He was too laid back. I think this guy is very intimidating in his sort of when you just see him in goal, and also I think he's got the sheer size to be dominant of his box. That will take time. There will be times where he flaps. He does parry, but as Ian says, this guy's got fucking fists of iron. He hasn't got the wrists. You know what we've been calling Mignolet. We're not going to discuss it, but what we've been calling Mignolet, what kind of hands wrists he's got. But this guy is a pure brute. I've just wanted him ever since I've watched him, and I thought we'd be linked with him. I decided I wanted him. I mean, everybody has their opinion in terms of could we have got better value elsewhere, etc., etc. I really don't care, and I really don't think about that too much. It's a monumental fee, but it's a fee, in my opinion, that's going to be sort of reflective, like sort of VVD's, in terms of he's going to save us that many points that no one's going to talk about it, and I'm pretty certain about that.
Once again, Grizz has shown the world that in no way can he count to 2.
No.
I nodded off halfway through that, Grizz, to be honest. So.
I was up
in the attic looking for an abacus.
17.2.
My answer be short if you want to give.
No, Molly, I was going to ask you the same question, but he's answered it for
look, I'll give you
context.
Kind of an answer to that. I'll give you kind of an answer to that because I'll be honest, I haven't seen this guy play 30 games.
I'll tell you what, Molly, give me the answer to it, right? And I want you to touch on John Achterberg as well, because while we've looked for value in the market, we've signed keepers that will be of a certain level, and a lot of people have said, he's made them worse. There could be an argument to that. There could be an argument that we just haven't spent enough on goalkeepers or bought top tier. Is the pressure on John Achterberg now that this is the fucking best? This is Rolls Royce shit. And if you fuck with this fella, you know, he'd be running out of fucking Liverpool. Let's be honest.
You are the biggest thing.
Yeah. Well, look, I'll come to that. But so you were asking Aaron about his like pros and cons. As I said, I haven't watched this guy, too many times. Probably the same as you have World Cup games against us. But I listened to the Anfield Rap podcast last night when they were interviewing James Horncastle.
Yeah,
and this guy's a Roma supporter. He covers Italian football all the time. And when they asked him, he sounds great, but what's his cons? He said, there is none. There just is no cons with this goalkeeper. He was saying that, he could have easily won Italian Footballer of the Year last year. And he didn't mean Italian Goalkeeper of the Year, it was like the actual Footballer of the Year. This is a league with guys like Savage, Higuain, Dybala, Matuidi in it. And he said he could have easily won the Italian Footballer of the Year award. And he reckons that Liverpool could quite possibly be decided the best goalkeeper in the world. And this is a guy who watches him week in and week out. So if he's saying that...
Yeah, but this guy's also he's a massive Roma fan. There's no such keeper that's got no cons. So
the only thing I would say to that, Grizz, is that the podcast Molly speaks about, Horncastle was on it. He was actually on it last year when Liverpool signed Salah.
Oh no, I know.
He gave a big build up to Salah that you could actually turn around last year and go, fucking hell, I think he's gone a bit over the top here, and it went beyond expectations.
And regards like Achterberg, everyone's giving Klopp a lot of credit here, and I saw the show saying that look, he waited for the best goalkeeper he could get, and he's gone balls out here signing Alisson. But at the end of the day, it's Klopp is taking advice from people on goalkeepers he should sign, because Klopp is not a goalkeeper expert at the end of the day, and without a doubt, he's taking advice from John Achterberg, and probably Achterberg's out there that's watching these players, and he's coming back and going, look, Jurgen, if you want you're the best goalkeeper you can get, and someone who I think I can work with and even improve, this is the guy we should be getting. This is the guy who can play the way we need to play. This is the guy who's quick off his feet, who plays the high line, all of these things. So you have to give credit for that. Now, then, of course, it's one thing being able to see a goalkeeper and recognise that he's going to fit the system of play and he's a great goalkeeper, but whether he can actually coach him is the big question in my mind, and that I think is yet to be answered. If Alisson has not such a great first season, I think that's Achterberg gone, because not only would he have recommended him that Liverpool sign him, he also would have been the guy that's coaching him. So they're going to go to him, listen, you told us to sign this guy, you told us spend whatever needs to be spending, and he's had a disastrous season. So is it that we shouldn't have bought him and he's not good enough, or is it the fact that your coaching isn't good enough? Either way, you're out.
You see, this when you start spending money like this, it puts pressure on everyone. And not just the players, the people that have chosen them, the people that coach them, the people that manage them. And let's be honest, Klopp has plenty of credits in the bank. But if Klopp was coming in and let's say for argument's sake, a Mourinho of 2004, done well at Porto, comes in, money absolutely thrown at him, safe by Liverpool, and it doesn't go well, he'd be fucked out the door. I think Klopp has a bit more leeway. I wouldn't say he's untouchable at Liverpool, but I think he's as close as, because I think the man's a fucking genius, to be perfectly honest with you. And I think he's.
But as long as he keeps,
he's building something for me that's very measured, very well planned out, meticulous, and long lasting. I think that's the main thing of it. There's no quick fixes here, but it's
like,
it's
quality,
that and it's quality that's going to last.
I'd like to ask a question of everyone there, actually, because you bring up a good point. What would be class as an achievement for next season for Klopp? The fact that, look, he's world record fee now for Alisson, the goalkeeper. It's a world record fee for the centre back. We have Salah up front, who, if we sold tomorrow, would also probably be a world record fee. So what does Klopp really need to achieve next season for it to be a success, or at least for it not under pressure?
I think he's got to win a trophy. He's got to win a trophy next year. You can't spend that much money on a keeper and not win something. And I don't mean the League Cup. So at the minimum, the FA Cup. And he's got to run City close in the league. How much did he win it by this year?
20. Well, from us, it was over 20 points. But I think from United, it was about 16 or
16. So I'd say if we're within 8 points, then we're moving in the right direction. If we finish within 5 points and win the League Cup, I'd take that. If we're within 8 points, I'd take the FA Cup. They've still got to do well in Europe, but I think we're built to do well in Europe. But he's got to do something. We can't just finish third or fourth next year with no cups. They've backed them too much now. Yeah,
my shout on it would be, I think you have to go for the title. Genuinely, I do. I think if City go and have a season that they've had last season, that's phenomenal. That's fucking outrageous. But I think Liverpool have well within them. Like we talk about being 20 points behind, or somewhere around. Was it 21 that finished somewhere around that?
In around that.
I think if you take 10 points off City, I think Liverpool, with the squad they've put together now, will have it in to put an extra 12 points on the board. But this is all about managing. You see, being so good in the Champions League last year, we had to sacrifice something. I think he's looking to go and say, we could be as good in Europe, but we're not sacrificing this league. Now, what he might do is he may go hell for leather on the league and try not to sacrifice the Champions League. Do you know what I mean? He may prioritise that. I agree with Ian. A trophy is a must. Anything from FA Cup upwards, and the League Cup doesn't count. That's fucking no. That's just not. I'm not even going into that. I haven't even got words for the League Cup. Yeah, I'd agree with Ian. I think a trophy, but I think if you're to name me to something now, listen, I take a quarter final of the Champions League, and once we're going hell for leather come February, March, April, and we're right in there, because I think we have the ability to right in there. Graves, what do you think?
I disagree on the League Cup, dismissing it, because I think winning anything it breeds the right mentality.
That's a fair point. Mourinho's done that a few times.
And normally I wouldn't be so demanding in this scenario, because you got to take everything into context where we're coming from. But I kind of forced myself into saying, yeah, he's got to give it the title a real push, and City or whoever the winners are, if we're challenging, we got to be much closer to the leaders. And one of the main reasons is this World Cup could benefit us. We've discussed it briefly on the Fatback 4 in terms of, I think out of City, United, Chelsea and Spurs, I think we were the least affected in terms of players, times, how much minutes players played. I think our players will be far fresher. I really think Spurs are in trouble. I really think Chelsea are, and we know City's squad is going to be. I know they bought Mahrez in, not bad for a sub, 60 million, but I really think if we get off, and it's absolutely imperative, and that's why he's trying to get all these signings in early and sort of get into the pre-season with him. I think it's imperative we get off to a great start, because I really think we can make a push this year. I wouldn't have been as demanding as some of you guys. I would have said, I want another Champions League run. I want another top 4 finish, not 4th, but 2nd, 3rd. But I really think the circumstances of the World Cup and the investment that the FSG have backed him, he's got to give a genuine title push.
All right. Just quickly, people are asking about Fekir. We are definitely getting to Fekir. Trust me, we're definitely getting to him. People are asking for an update. That will come. There's a few more names that have been.
We're definitely getting him. Is that what you just said? Is that what you just said, Gav? We're definitely getting him. That was a cryptic clue there.
No, we're definitely getting to him.
Be careful, Gav.
By August.
Yeah, we're definitely getting to him. We're going to visit him. Me and Ian are going to visit him.
Social media picks up on this kind of shit.
You better fucking put that World Cup in a secure place, or me and Ian are taking it back over the channel. And then it will be coming home. Is that right, Ian? Imagine Ian singing It's Coming Home on the fucking boat from Calais. Come here. No, someone has just said there that Paul Joyce has tweeted that it's a 6-year contract for Alisson. I don't know if he has tweeted it. If it is...
Yeah, he just has the medical is tomorrow. Did he also tweet it? So 6-year contract, medical tomorrow.
So an announcement tomorrow then.
Announcement tomorrow. Wow.
Ian, that's my exclusive gone.
Yeah, of course.
Medical tomorrow.
That's your exclusive. You want to start brushing up on then.
All the relevant people have been told.
He does this every pod.
Yeah, I know, but he told me earlier it wasn't relevant anymore, so I don't give a fuck. It's game ball now.
All the relevant people have been DM'd.
Come here then, Ian. I want to come back to you, and this keeper coming in. This is the last we'll do on Alisson, because people really want us to move on and talk about Fekir, because it's like Fabinho signed and they were like, yeah, fuck him. Who's next? Because we're on a rampage for this summer. But Ian, the goalkeepers that are in situ at Liverpool at the moment, you have Simon Mignolet, you have Loris Karius, and you have Danny Ward. Now, last week there was rumour going around, and I think even a quote from Klopp saying, I don't even think it was a quote, but it was word, it was understood that Danny Ward would be given a chance to prove himself as a number 1, and he said that about fucking 6 days ago. And within 3 days, they're throwing money around Europe like it's no one's business. How do you see this going? And before you do, I nearly want you to pick me 2 keepers, number 1 and number 2, but people are saying, Karius for a loan, Karius for this. It's not about ability anymore. I've tried to say this. I think it's all in the head. And it's not that it's in Karius's head. It's in the supporters' heads, right? So no matter how well he does, it's always in the back of your brain that, you know what, if he even fucking palms a shot wide when he should have caught it, to be uproar. That's how I feel on Karius. I think his days are done. And I'll be straight up with you now. For me, it'd be Alisson and it'd be Danny Ward as backup, because Danny Ward is the cleanest slate of them all. He's no baggage. You put him in there and he learns from Alisson and then he improves. Where would you go with this, Ian? What would you do? If I was putting you in charge of the Liverpool goalkeepers for the summer, whether they stay, go, play, not play, what would you do?
I guess that was a 38-minute question. That.
I know, yeah. I know. I'm trying to get me minutes in for
context.
Chris.
He's giving it context.
On the fat back 4, I said last week, when you spend that much money on a new keeper, the number 1 does not settle for being the old number 1 does not settle for being number 2. I think Mignolet's already leaving. I think that's pretty much a given. So I think Karius, the best thing we can do with Karius, he only cost like 4 million, didn't he? So we're not really going to lose dough on him. So I would look to loan him out to a lower Premier League side, mid-table German side, something like that, in the hope that he can recapture some form and we can sell him on maybe in 12 months, because he's not going to play for Liverpool again, I don't think. I'd have Danny Ward as number 2. More for the reason that I think the lad deserves to be number 2. Do you know what I mean? He should have went on loan last season, didn't go. I think he only got one game in a cup because we got knocked out.
Leicester away, yeah.
Yeah, I think he deserves, and he's a steady enough number 2. Do you know what I mean? I mean, don't get me wrong. If Alisson breaks his leg in the first game, you've got Danny Ward all season. You're worried, but you can't. You could say that about Van Dijk, or you could say it about Salah, or you could say it about fucking. Do you know what I mean? Any one of the big players from the big sides. You can't really look at it that way. But I think Miggs is gone. I think Karius is damaged goods, and I don't think he's good enough anyway. I think they'll loan him out and try, and in the hope that he'll increase his value and then maybe sell him on. He's got far too much of an ego to just go and sit on the bench for a year. He's not going to. And let's be honest, you spend £67 million on a keeper. You're not going to get a fair crack at the whip at getting him out of the side. He's playing, end of story. Like, he'd have to turn up with fucking no legs for 3 months to not get a game over Karius. I mean 3 months.
I reckon they do a fitness test on him in the hope that he can start.
He would have to be, honestly.
That lad in the wheelchair is touch and go for today.
67 million, mate. 67 million. He would have to be like Stephen Hawking till September to not get a go, honestly. Yeah. He's playing, end of.
Yeah, no, he would. Like, he'd have to be fucking. If he came in wrapped up like fucking Anthony Hopkins, you know what I mean? Like in that film where he's fucking chained to a trolley, you're going to go, yeah, I'd stick him in anyway, because I reckon he could get out of his box quicker than the other 2 fucking Muppets. Grizz, goalkeeper situation for you. Where do you see it going? Alisson's number 1. I basically want you to pick me a number 2 and the other 2 lads. What are you doing?
I'd honestly, Gav, what we were discussing earlier in the WhatsApp, I'd honestly make a clean sweep. I'd honestly get rid of Parius and Muggs. Honestly, I would. Damaged goods, both of them. It would only leave Dejan Lovren, who's, you could say, has seen the dark side of the Liverpool defence. Because you got to remember, Robbo's come in and just seen glory, hasn't he? And he's been
the best
superb.
back in the world.
In the world. And Trent is the young best right back in the world. Van Dijk is the best centre back in the world. And now we've got potentially one of the best goalkeepers in the world. It would just make the back 5 absolutely free of any mental scars, because we've been scarred mentally. Our back 5, it's often said that the slightest bit of pressure, we crumble because of past horrors. We won't have that now. None of these have been involved in any past horrors, as I said, except Dejan. But then you got to remember, Dejan's coming back.
Yeah, we'll have a point to make on him.
Champion of the world.
Yeah.
The champion of the world. So for me personally, I'd crack on and sell them. No sentiments for me, and make Ward our number 2, and that way you see Alisson gets the full confidence of full backing of he's the number 1 and the clear number 1, because a 6-year contract Did Paul Joyce just say 6-year contract, lads? Yeah. So 6-year contract's not a joke for us.
That was your exclusive. I thought that was your exclusive.
No, the medical's my exclusive, lump.
I think you're full of shit.
No, yeah. So the 6-year contract to give to a top keeper, that is confidence in itself. And now you get rid of the
29 minutes we got there before you unleashed there.
The crap. Let go of Muggs and Parius, and we're flying. Make Ward number 2.
Right.
Chris, I'm now mentally scarred after that answer. He asked about Karius and Ward, and he went on to Lovren and Robertson and everybody else.
It's interesting.
Context.
No, and do you know what? It's actually interesting he touched on them, Molly, because I'll tell you why. Like, in fairness, Grizz says clean sweep, get rid of the 2 of them, and Warren. I'd agree with you. I can't. If you're sending Karius on loan hoping he recovers form, you're only doing it for his value. You're not doing it to bring him back. You're just not. It's only for.
What's wrong with that, Doug? That's exactly why. That's exactly why you would do it.
There's nothing wrong with that. But listen, come here and I tell you. I'll put it to this way. Say for argument's sake, Bayern Munich signed Loris Karius 2 years ago, right? And he has this big reputation, right? And he goes and he does what he does in the Champions League for Bayern Munich, and Bayern Munich look to loan him, right, to improve his value. Do you think Liverpool would be stupid enough to go, oh yeah, he was all right, and he was all right for a year there in Germany, I'd go for him? People have long memories, Long memories go, and especially when it comes to goalkeepers, I think you cut your losses on him. And I don't even think you cut a loss. 4 to 5 million to get rid of him.
No.
You will do that, and you get rid of him, and you won't lose any money on
Sell
him.
it for 10 million tomorrow.
Yeah,
10
no,
million.
I don't
But
know.
you have to look at a player's career as well, and Liverpool are big on this. They're not going to just throw somebody underneath the bus. So they'll throw out a line of, look, we're sitting out on loan. He's going to rebuild himself elsewhere, away from the spotlight. You know, and when he comes back next year, he's going to come back a new player and challenge Alisson, and all these things is what's going to be said.
Oh, fuck that Molly. Sell it.
They're not going to do that. But if they do that, like, you have to realise when they're signing other players down the road, they're going to be thinking, well, hang on a minute, are you going to throw me underneath the bus the first mistake?
Well, you see, Molly, you see, like, look at the recent events, right? We've just discussed it there a second ago. Klopp or somebody within the club says that Ward is going to be given a chance to be number one, and he's matured and he's this, that, and the other, right? Despite playing one game in a year for Liverpool, within 24 hours he's not in the squad to fucking play a friendly, and then we're spending 67 million. Believe nothing you're being told. And at the end of the day, if a team needs a goalkeeper and they think I can take a punt on him for 5 million, which is fuck all, let's be honest about it, and you make your money back, you do it. Quickly, Molly, before we move on, Dejan Lovren was mentioned there, and the mental scars and different things like that. I think this might be good for him. He's been in a team now with Mignolet, which is a fucking disaster. But then you're looking at Karius then, and then back to Mignolet, and then back to Karius, and he's never probably in his own mind being sure of who's behind him. But now when you look and you think, Robertson doesn't give a fuck. He just plays football and he's really good at it. Trent has grown game by game by game because he just loves playing for Liverpool. You've got Van Dijk that strolls around going, I'm the fucking best, and what are you going to do about it? And Lovren is kind of feeding off that. With a new guy behind him with for this amount of money, do you think it can even improve the defenders yet again?
Yeah, well, if you touch on Lovren, he's definitely what I'd call a confidence player. Like, we saw that when he got to the World Cup final with his interview saying that, you know, has to be recognised now that I'm one of the best centre backs in the world. And he is. So when he plays in that team, he looks beside him. You said he sees Van Dijk. He looks behind him.
I can see
and he sees Alisson.
That's what I said.
Yeah, and he's going to be just going, jeez, I am literally the dog's bollocks. Look at me. I'm here playing with these guys because I deserve it, because I'm up to their level. Because that's the type of player that Lovren is. He thinks, and maybe he does deserve it, but he certainly thinks he deserves to be in that side and play beside players of that level. So I think it's going to be great for him.
Yeah, and Barry Tucker there says Fabinho now in front of them as well.
Fabinho in front of him, and Keita and Salah there as well.
The names you're reading off is ridiculous. Yeah. Lads, look, I'm going to move on because people want to
We're winning the league, aren't we?
What?
Are we winning the league?
No, I reckon we're scraping fourth on the last day of the season.
No,
and,
we're winning the league.
I reckon Alisson kicks one out, a goal kick out for the corner in the last minute of the Champions League, and we get done with a back post header from the corner. No, look, I think we should be going all out for anything we want, because you don't spend this money and stand still. If you stand still after doing this in the summer, you're getting fourth position in the Premier League and you're making the Champions League final. If you progress in any way, you're guaranteeing yourself a trophy, and could be even more than that. Do you know what I mean? But for me, if we turn around at the end of January, mid-February even, and we're within the hunt or within 6 points at the top of the table, I'd put the Champions League in the bin. And I'd use the squad that we've built to go at the Champions League, and I'd go hell for fucking leather at that league. But that's just me. Yeah. And look, don't get me wrong, when we get to February, we'll all be talking about this anyway to see where we are. I want to move on because we're about 45 minutes in. Let's get a couple of names out there, right? Grizz, I'm going to come to you, because if one more person asks me, have you got an update on Nabil Fekir, or what's your feelings on Nabil Fekir, I'm going to have a fucking meltdown. Nabil Fekir, Grizz, we've talked at length and nauseum about this at this stage. Reports today, although I don't know how reasonable or reliable they are, is that this deal is back on. I've read one today saying that the deal Liverpool are proposing is on the table for a little while now, and now they're pushing it because they're going on tour and they want this sorted. What's your take on Nabil Fekir?
it's the same, Gav. Things like this they don't change sort of hour by hour. Our fans don't understand. It's in the pipeline. There's definite. There's no sign of it being sort of dead, as a lot of local journalists have been saying. We kind of all know that it's not dead. It's just a matter of getting that old ass back on the table and just thrashing out this deal. I can't see it happening this week now. I think we're planning one brilliant transfer every week. So I'd say around this time next week, Nabil Fekir will be one of ours as well.
Okay, all right. He's gone big. Look at Ian is fucking disgusted. Ian's nearly as disgusted as that England quarter-final win over Sweden. Look at him. He's going fucking mad.
I didn't watch that game.
I know you didn't. You wouldn't watch any of them. You're waiting for Ireland to turn up. You're waiting for Italy to show up in the group stages. Molly. Nabil Fekir. I know you read a lot online. You go down all sorts of fucking transfer rabbit holes. I know you do. Don't even try to deny it. What's your feeling on this? Because I don't think this can drag much longer. I think this is a sort of one where it's done or it's not done, and the clubs move on, and Liverpool go after someone else. But having said that, there's been no alternative being thrown out there. A bit like Alisson, There's been no alternative thrown out there. For me, this next couple of days, I think, is make or break, especially with this tour coming up. This tour is always in the back of my head. When we go away, I think Klopp wants business done. All right, the players might be away for a couple of weeks, but what's your take on this?
Yeah, I'm with you, Gav. I'm kind of on the fence. I'm not really with Grizz to think that Fekir is going to be a Liverpool player this time next week. As you say, I think Liverpool still want him because no alternatives has been mentioned. But I think if they haven't had him by this time next week, I think we might start hearing of alternatives. Because that medical has full time, Gav. Like I was speaking to a guy earlier on about the medical issues. And what he told me was that the injury that he got was kind of similar to the injury that Ox has at the moment. And there's two ways of fixing this injury. There's, what was it called? Altogether. Let me just go into the message here.
Sorry, James Pearce is saying now that with Alisson signed, it probably signals the end of Liverpool's transfer spending for the summer.
There you go.
Was that the same James Pearce that said we're not interested in Alisson last week? Is that the same James?
Yeah, I think James Pearce is he's very good, but I think Joyce's the main man now, isn't he? Joyce is great. Just sits back. I'd say he was sitting having a few cans last night, going, oh, "Fuck them, I'm not tweeting." Do it at some stage mid morning tomorrow. You know what I mean? I like Joyce. And Shawnee FC. I am from the Trippers is getting he's getting Paul Joyce's fucking profile scribble off Twitter tattooed on his arse live on Periscope. If Alisson and Fekir signs for Liverpool, because Shawnee's mad. Actually, Alisson is literally Shawnee. They're fucking so alike. If Alisson could be as successful as Shawnee is in Dublin City on a Friday stroke Saturday stroke Sunday night with the women, he's a £300 million goalkeeper. Let's be honest with you.
There's only 4 foot difference in them, but apart from that, I know exactly what you mean.
Who? Shawnee?
How tall's Shawnee?
Shawnee's fucking 6'2".
Is he?
Yeah, Shawnee's a big lump of a fucking guy.
I'm not happy he's got everything. I'm not having it.
He has the lot. He's the full fucking package of Shawnee. You'll see in a couple of weeks when we come over. When he gets off that plane, it's like...
In a couple of weeks, we're not going on a sweet party.
What? He'll show you the lot. Shawnee will show you everything. He doesn't give a fuck.
Sounds like it.
Right, sorry. Did you get your message up there, Molly?
I did. I have it here, buddy. So basically, this medical issue with Fekir, so it kind of ties into the Oxlade-Chamberlain one because seemingly they both got a similar injury, and how Fekir's operation, he got what's called an autograft, which is basically this operation's done if maybe a guy who's like a runner who doesn't compete in sort of rugby or football, he runs a couple of times a week. if he did his ACL, they would get this done for him. It's essentially a band-aid, something that might last 4 or 5 years, but not really expected to last much longer. And especially if you are competing at a high level, doing an operation like that, it certainly wouldn't be the way to go. Chamberlain, he got a different operation done where they actually take his own. They take it from his hamstrings and stuff, and they do all that surgical, magical stuff. But in essence, once the injury's over, it's like it's never happened. He's like a brand new player and all that. So that when Liverpool found that out, that spooked them, because they're looking at, well, okay, Fekir is fine now, and he's fine to go to the World Cup, and he may even be fine for the next season, 2 seasons. But there's no guarantee. This band-aid will eventually go, and whether that's in 6 months' time or 2, 3, 4 years down the line, that's going to happen. Now, what I was told is that they were looking to do a deal with Leon, that essentially he has 2 years left on his Leon deal.
Now, sorry, Molly, if you say to me, right, that,
go on.
This is what I'm going to veto part of this. If you tell me what I read on Twitter today, that Liverpool are looking for a receipt for him, and they can return him any time in the 5 years ago, listen, give us our money back, you know what I mean? This is the fucking Hoover moment.
No, but see, when it comes down to like insurance,
that's the shit I do with my microwave every year.
Yeah.
That literally they can't.
That's because putting fucking 4 chickens in at the one go and lashing around full speed.
Exactly.
So it's coming down to insurance. They're having problems getting the right insurance for this player. So they're saying, well, look, if something happens within the next 2 years, that Leon has to pay out insurance, not take the player back or anything like that, but literally might mean they have to pay his wages for the next 6 months while he gets back up on his feet. But after 2 years are up, we'll take the hit in it. But we're quite happy to pay the exact same fee that we were always going to pay. We may have paid over stages, but it was a case of, if there's an injury within the first 2 years, that Leon have to cough up some cash back because insurance is not going to cover us.
Yeah, that could be it. For me, I think the deal's on the table. I think the fee that was agreed, I think, is still there. I think it is being paid over a longer period of time, which is actually quite normal, because most transfers are paid over the term of the contract. But I think Liverpool may have said, look, we are definitely paying it over the term of the contract, with stipulations there that, look, if he fucking breaks down, or, you know, it could be anything, because let's be honest, these contracts aren't very straightforward. You know, there's a lot of people have a lot of input into them. Ian, your take on Nabil Fekir, do you think this happens? Do you want it to happen? There was something else I was going to ask you and I can't remember, because all I can think of now was a half dozen chickens in fucking Grizzly's microwave. Sorry, Ian, I'll put this here as well, sorry. Kev O'Sullivan says there, Pierce or Joyce saying that it could be the end of the spend, and could be just, you know, this a little kick to Leon going, listen, deal, or we'll fuck off. You know, the kind of way. What do you reckon?
Everything that Molly just said there is perfectly logical and well researched and intelligent, but I'm going to say fuck all that, because I want him. I don't care about any of the. I don't care if he's got a fucking band-aid on his knee. I just think
Alisson's still up on a fucking trolley in a straitjacket.
I just think we've got pure momentum now, and we're fucking loaded. Like John Henry's like Scrooge McDuck. Yeah. So even if he breaks down after 2 years, who's asked? We're loaded. Yeah. Get him anyway. You know what I mean? But
you know, sorry, go on in.
But yeah, but like I said it on our podcast the other day, yeah, I do want him. He can play in about 6 positions. I like his style. He's got a bit of something nasty about him. I'd take the gamble, because, you know what I mean, I'm a gambling man, you know what I mean? But in terms of the other two saying our spending's done, I just think they get told what they get told, and that's it. If people aren't onto the fact that Klopp is full of shit at the moment, they're never going to be.
If people aren't onto the fact that Liverpool-based journalists are reacting hours after French and Italian journalists,
yeah, sometimes
it's you know, like, don't get me wrong, Joyce, Pierce, Reddy, go back let's be honest about it. Go back to before the Van Dijk transfer, and they were breaking shit all over the place. All right, what was happening, when it was happening, who was happening, with how much it was, what the length of contract was, and now they're getting fed this stuff a couple of hours after, the event. So I don't actually know how much they're being fed now at this stage. I really don't. Ian's throwing the house upside down. Someone's
scrummaging the bin.
No, I think someone's told him that the Fekir deal is off, and he's just fucking upended the house.
That tweet could be the worst time for poor Grizz there. He's saying he's going to be an LFC player this time next week. 1 minute later, all business done.
No, I think Kev O'Sullivan on Periscope is a decent point there.
I've been going against all these journalists for the last year or so, Molly. Never believe the local journalists at the moment. I think Liverpool are playing this and have been playing the transfer market absolutely perfectly in the last 12 months or so. And I think this is just a continuation of our smartness and our cleverness where we haven't been in the past. It's just my opinion now.
No, I have to be honest, Chris. I fully agree with you because I know that Fekir's agent was in Liverpool last week and a couple of weeks ago, so they're still in contact.
Where there is absolute total certainty in my mind that we've been in contact with his agent and the player himself. The player himself has told the Lyon chairman that he wants to go and he wants to go to Liverpool. Now, what you said about the injuries is absolutely spot on in terms of the complexities.
Umar 172 says
this was serious.
James Pearce must have knocked on Ian's door. But James Pearce got crabs, did he? Did someone
in Brighton? He got him in Brighton, yeah. Weekend game in Brighton.
Shit happens. One.
But yeah, the crux of the matter. The crux of the matter comes down to, in my opinion, from what I've been told, is Klopp was furious the first time round when the move broke down, and he still wants that deal to take place, and Klopp is king. Now, the only sticking point, of course, and it's quite a major sticking point, is if Olas doesn't come to the table. But to me, there's nothing indicating that Olas won't come to the table.
Yeah. No, I don't think there is, and he's been doing enough. He's been doing enough talking over the last 4 weeks, probably. And let's be honest with it, if he keeps talking, there's something happening. Because you don't. If there's nothing happening, just stay quiet. If you want to keep your player, stay quiet. Or if you want to keep him, come out and just say he's not for fucking sale, and that's the end of it. You know. But look, last one, Grizz. One that kind of caught my fancy today because I can't wait to see the back of him, and that's Divock Origi. Rumoured links with Newcastle United and possible sale or loan deal. And now it's talk of a swap deal. Now the only person. Oh, here's Ian's back. The only player we're swapping at Newcastle would be I can't even remember his first name.
Lascelles Jamel.
Yeah, Lascelles. Ian, you're back. We thought James Pearce knocked on your front door. But no, you don't need to go into it. Doesn't matter. I was going to say something, I'm not going to fucking say it now. But Lascelles, his first name's gone out of my head. Mick Lascelles. Mick Lascelles.
Jamal.
Yeah, Jamal. Yeah.
I said it better.
You say it best.
Jamal.
You say nothing at all. But anyway, come here. Possible loan deal, possible sale, and then a swap deal comes into it. Is there anything in this for you, Chris?
Yeah.
Yeah? That's enough. Molly.
Moving on.
Now we like Lascelles a lot. He's definitely a target. I personally can't see it happening in this window. But hey, Liverpool have been surprising people left, right, and centre, man. Wouldn't it be just amazing if we went out and got a centre back of his stature as well in this window, but I personally can't see it. But we're definitely interested in him. In terms of Divock Origi, he's not going to be at the club at the start of the season, in my opinion. No chance. Whether it's loan or whether it's sale, I think we will push towards a sale. But if needs be another loan, it will be. But I definitely think we're going to push towards a sale for sure.
All right, Molly, for you, do you think there's anything in this? Is it something you'd be up for? Origi, it probably end up being Origi plus a few quid for the sales, I think. Is it something you'd be up for?
I rate this Lascelles guy very highly. He reminds me of a young Van Dijk, to be honest with you. But I don't think it will happen. I think he's one of those that we're going to be keeping an eye on in maybe January to next summer. But Origi to Newcastle is a great shout. I can certainly see that happening. He's going around in the pre-season.
He'll wreck fucking beneath him.
Yeah, well, he kind of looks like a player who just knows that his time with Liverpool is up, and he's just going through the motions. So I can't see him being here to start of the season. Newcastle move could be a good move for him.
Okay. Ian, Divock Origi, is this? I might as well ask one of you. Is he someone that you could see forcing his way into the squad? Because everyone thinks that Daniel Sturridge is Maradona again, and that's really annoying me at this stage. But if that swap deal came around and you thought, say for argument's sake, let's Origi plus 15 million, and you get Lascelles in, you're losing a striker that you have no intention of fucking using. Is it something that you'd be going for?
All day long. I'm a big fan. I've been saying for ages I'd like him. Do you know what I mean? I'd sell. Someone said to me today, if we signed him, we'd have 6 centre halves, but I would comfortably sell Matty and Clavin's 34.
Oh, I'd drive Matip in the back of the van to wherever he fucking needs to go.
So no, I'd happily sell Origi. When was the last time a player had maybe a season and a half in the first team and then went out on loan and then come back and got back in the first team? For any team, doesn't happen. You don't loan out players who you've got. Maybe if you'd never made it in the first team, you loan them out and then come back.
Yeah, I think Origi's biggest problem for me is his ability to adapt to different situations. I think he has a way of playing. I think he's good at it. But if you ask him to do anything else, he can't adapt. As soon as Liverpool asked him to play, intricate football rather than running channels and getting in behind people and stuff like that, it went away from him. And for me, in pre-season, a couple of games I've seen him, he looks like someone that doesn't want to get injured because he's on his way to somewhere else and he doesn't want to scupper that for himself.
Do you know what I think about it?
Sorry, we're going to do about another 7 or 8 minutes. If people want to send in questions on Periscope, throw them in there now and I'll quick fire them at the lads as we go. But go on in.
Make it 3-4 minutes. I've got to run.
What? You don't run fucking anyway, you mad bastard.
You couldn't run a bath.
Paddle.
Origi, mate. I think Origi is actually good at everything, but he's not really good at anything. Do you know what I mean? So he's not a brilliant finisher. He's quite quick, but he's not rapid. He's strong, but he's not Drogba strong. He's skillful, but you know what I mean? He's good at everything, but he's not outstanding at anything. I don't think he's good enough for the top 4 side. I think he'd do well for Everton. Someone like that. I think he'd do really well for someone like that.
Molly, people are saying here on Periscope that Joyce is now saying that we're not in for Fekir anymore. Yes or no? Believe it? Do you not believe it? What do you reckon?
Well, if Joyce is saying it, I tend to believe it. But if that's the case, it would be because Leon have turned down whatever offer that was on the table. Because the original offer, there's no way that was staying on the table.
Pierce Angels apparently saying it now.
And Dominic King has also said it. And
all the journalists have come out tonight.
Steve Hoare from the Red Men said it.
No, the funny thing is, right, all these journalists that have said this. Now, I'm not going into some sort of, in denial. I'm not in denial as some fucking some weird thing because it doesn't make a fucking difference to me, you know what I mean? But all these journalists all of a sudden now have all this information.
Yeah.
Exactly.
And 12 hours ago, he fuck all information.
Exactly.
How would it suit Liverpool though, Gav? By releasing that? For Leon to come along to us, maybe contact us and go,
It would suit us better if, for argument's sake, we if them journalists briefed that we were going to sign Pulisic, for argument's sake, a Pulisic or
Zaha or
one of these players that could probably play in a 10 role and a wide role and stuff like that. This one's a bit weird for me. And for these like Kevin Sullivan there says, is one journal parroting another? Probably, yeah. And you see, you have to remember, like with the Fekir deal first time around, all these lads got their information out of France. They didn't get it themselves. They didn't get it from Liverpool. I can guarantee you that they didn't, because
and they're all mates.
If you look at the timeline around Fekir, episode 1, it was all French. And me and you had this conversation only about how they were getting their information and how journalists were going to France to get their information and come back then and give it and relay it on podcasts or social media. This one seems a bit strange to me. But don't get me wrong, I'm not putting down Pierce or Joyce or anybody else. But to me, to have no information 12 hours ago about a player that's coming in, but all of a sudden have all the information about a player that has been sitting there for 4 or 5 weeks is a bit strange to me.
But to me, the club are obviously releasing what information they want to release to these journalists. When they're trying to get players in, they ain't releasing it. And it's for many reasons that we discussed in pods before, whether it's for the worry that other clubs might try to scupper their deal or whatever it is, or because maybe the journalists are on the naughty step because of the Virgil van Dijk debacle last summer. So for whatever reason, they're only releasing whatever information that they want the journalists to know. So they don't want to know what players are coming in. So this information has obviously been released for a reason. Now, it'll be interesting to see what that reason is. Is it because it's the truth and we've literally just walked away and we're happy with our business? Or is it because we want to put some pressure on Leon to come back to contact us? Because it's all being that Liverpool haven't contacted.
I have a great question for you, Leon. Go on.
So you could literally be trying to get Leon back to the table to us to contact us. Or, as I said, it may be the truth as well.
Grizz, you're of the opinion that this is still on, and you've been going against a lot of journalists for the last week or so, or the last, I don't know how long ago it was.
All my life, mate. All my life.
Jeez, he went all EastEnders on us there, didn't he?
Down by then, did he?
I thought Wellad was going to appear behind you there.
Made me lose my hair.
Come here, what was I going to say to you? Grizz, would you agree with me that the value to this story will value of this story will be measured on if we get more word from Aulas. If Aulas is after having a few cans and he decides what the fuck it is playing at, I'll get back online now and I'll tell them what for and I'll tell them that it's still on. Do you reckon that's the direction we should be looking, or have Liverpool briefed these journalists to say you need to fucking tell them that we're not doing any more deals because the expectancy's gone through the roof?
The latter.
Actually, before you answer that, Chris, I'm sorry to cut you off. I saw a tweet there from the Mayor. I don't know, was it Maddox that was tweeting it out, but saying that Liverpool's business is done for the summer unless something changes.
Who said that? Sorry.
Yeah.
That's what the Mayor tweeted out.
Well, I'm not going to eat anything before I go to bed unless I'm throwing that fucking oven on. You know what I mean? So, that kind of way.
But what could change? The only thing that could change is Leon going, oh, well, okay, we might take it.
To me, it sounds like our business is done. That deal is on the table. You take it or we just walk. But you can't end your business. You can't end your business in the summer on a £67 million goalkeeper when you've been tracking a fucking number 10 stroke wide man stroke false 9 stroke whatever else.
Especially
for 6 weeks.
Especially after, I'm not saying because of the Ox injury transfer plans change now, because obviously they're aware of the Ox injury months ago, right? But take that into consideration as well. So we've lost Emre Can, we've lost Ox. Who else have we lost? We're losing Gruitch. Does that count? Whatever.
Lallana's injury prone.
Lallana's
injury just lost Gruitch. We can't find them. You just, you know what I mean?
In my humble opinion, there is no way we do not bring a playmaker, stroke 10, attacking midfielder in before the end of the window. And that attacking midfielder, in my humble opinion, is Nabil Fekir, and that's who Klopp wants. And if we don't, okay, I'm not backtracking here, but I'm just giving context. Context.
Sorry, Grace. Shawnee FC there is on, and he said, we're signing the most expensive goalkeeper in the world. We need to relax. And these same people told us the other day that Ward was going to be given a chance to be number one.
And they came out in unison and
See, Shawnee, he has the lot now. Full package.
If we don't
like him.
Yeah, I'm starting to fucking
I don't like Shawnee.
If we don't get inferior. If we don't get this window, we'll wait. We'll wait in January, because Fekir's made it very clear to his chairman, just like all the other players that we've signed and mentioned, that they only want us. And it's simple as that. Player power does count for a lot. And I think Klopp, as Ian said before, James Pearce knocked on his door and offered him a straightener.
I think he was doing delivery. I think James Pearce
what he said is, Jurgen Klopp just wants Nabil Fekir. Fuck the rest. I want Nabil Fekir in the club.
All right. Well, listen, lads, we're going to finish up because we're here ages and I'm not going to eat unless things change. Thanks for tonight. It's been great. It's great to do pods where we're spending a mad amount of money. We don't give a fuck, like Ian said. We're just walking around, lashing wads of money around. You know what I mean? It shows what we mean business, and I don't like that term signal of intent. I really don't. But I think if we ignore those journalists tonight and we do something else in the market, I think we have a very, very exciting season to look forward to. That's been your word on the street. Today is Wednesday. The Fatback 4 should be back on Sunday. We probably will be. And if anything else breaks between now and then, we'll be back on to have a little talk about it. Mainly if James Pearce knocks on Ian's door again, because Ian will get a barn order against him. But no, that's been us. We'll talk to you soon. Thanks for joining us. There's been absolutely loads of you joining us tonight. Loads of comments coming in there from Liverpool to Chris, Kev O'Sullivan. Kev O'Sullivan's fucking always on. Every time I look down, I don't know. I think he's behind me, the cunt. Every time I look down, there's a comment up there. I think he's renting the fucking box room. No, look, thanks a million for listening, watching. It's on Periscope, it's on YouTube. I absolutely promise, in between eating after this, I will go and stick this on audio for you as well. There's Brian the dog. Ian's trying to hide him down on his lap now as we speak. That's been your word on the street. Molly, Grizz, Ian, thanks a million. I've been your host, Gav. See you soon.